Great. Thank you, Peggy. Hi, everyone. Good morning and good day. I hope everyone's having a great day today. So, again, welcome to Zoom training. My name is Mat Pabericio, and I am your customer success manager here at Zoom. Joining me on this session is my good buddy JP. Uh, he will help me facilitate this training session and answer your question via chat. Um, so if you have any probably inquiries or any features that interest you, please send them through chat, and definitely JP will be able to help you. Though if time still permits, we will open the floor for any question and answer. So this training session may take 60 minutes of your time. So I would suggest grab a cup of coffee and feel comfortable on your own seats. And yeah, so by the way, before I proceed, just a quick show of raise hand from the reaction button. So I just want to see how many are actually comfortable in using Zoom and facilitating the meeting. Okay. Yeah, I see good numbers, 13, 14, 15. All right. So good to see. Again, um, I hope by the end of this session, we can increase these numbers, and you'll learn new things and ways to make sure you'll be able to use your Zoom platform effectively and efficiently on your next meeting. Okay. Um, so let's go ahead. Let me share my screen to you. I prepared like a simple presentation or PowerPoint presentation. Can everybody see my screen now?
We can.
All right, great. So before we actually proceed here, um, here's my agenda. Um, I'll let you. We'll drive in on how you can log in to your web portal, okay? And then we're go a deep dive on the desktop application and what are the hosting or meeting controls available for you, like screen sharing, breakout rooms, polling, okay? At the end of the session, I'm going to present also the roadmaps and updates of what's upcoming for Zoom, right? And then I'll share to you where you can find the resources and support. Okay. So yeah, just proceed now here. All right. So I'm going to start. So I think by now, some of you already enabled your account or have already created your account from the web portal, right? So again, just to sign in, you need to go to zoom.us and then log in using your Zoom credentials. All right. From there, um, you can go ahead and configure your meeting settings, right? So I'm not going to go over all the settings, but I just want to pinpoint or highlight things to make sure that this feature are actually enabled from the web portal so that you'll be able to use them um, from your meeting, right? So anyway, the web portal is very straightforward, and there are also brief description for each setting. So it's very user friendly. You can go ahead and explore this on your own time and see what are the settings available for you, right? So anyway, I just want to start. Of course, you want to make sure that your meetings are secured. So you might want to check and see if waiting room and passcode is enabled for you. So this is just a additional layer of security for all your meetings. You can also have the in-meeting chat enabled. So this is a good way of communication during the meeting. Can be used in posting questions, right? So you don't have to, uh, disrupt the whole meeting. If you have just one question or clarification, then you can post this to your chat room. Another thing here, if you want to use meeting polls, make sure that this is enabled from your web portal, right? And then if you want to share presentation, then I would suggest to enable the screen sharing as well. Of course, if you're sharing screen, you might want to enable the annotation tool. So on this way, you can actually highlight important details from your presentation. And lastly, some of you may need to use breakout room. So definitely you need to enable this first and uh, to see this feature on your meeting. So what is just a quick overview of what is breakout room. This will allow you to split your Zoom meetings into a separate session. One good example that I can share is the use of this waiting room is, for example, an all hands meeting, and you want to split your participants into smaller groups, right? For internal collaboration and all. And then once you're back on the main session, you can share ideas from those breakout rooms, right? Okay. I just want to quickly show you where you can find your recordings if in case you have your meeting recorded. So you can access both cloud recordings and local recordings from your web portal as well. So just click on the recording tab, and then it will you just have to type in the meeting ID, the topic, or key title of your meeting to access that specific recording. And another option that you can do actually is you can share your recording, right? Then this will give you options on how you want to share that recording. So once you have set the settings, you can just copy the sharing information to clipboard. Then you can send this via email to anyone who might need to access your recording. All right. So those are the things that you can actually do with the web portal. Um, Before I jump in really to the desktop application, let me just check. Do we have any questions? Or I think JP is doing great job answering questions for you. All right. So I think Robert asked for this is webinar. This is actually for meeting. For webinars, we can set up another training for that one, right?
Hey, Matt, sorry to
Mhm.
interrupt. I think
Sure.
Bobby Jordan has a question.
Oh, hi, Bobby. Go ahead.
No, I don't have a question.
Oh, all right. Let me just lower your hand and we can go ahead and proceed. All right. So let me just stop my sharing here. Okay. Because what I want actually on this part is to share my desktop application so that you'll be able to see the live demo of the desktop application and what are the meeting controls available for you if you're hosting a meeting. Okay, so yeah, let's just open up. I'm going to share my screen, and there you go. I hope everyone can see my screen, and on my screen, you'll be able to see all your beautiful faces. Is that right? Okay, good. All right. As you can see, um, this is the whole view as a host. You will see at the bottom part all the controls, right? And then you'll be able to see participants here. But I'm going to discuss all of that later on. I will just quickly show you the home page for the desktop application. There you go. So this is the home page. Um, I'm not going to go on every details or every part of this homepage. I just want to highlight this option that you can do actually here from your homepage is to check um, version updates of your desktop client. So right now we are 5.6.3. So let me just show you real quick where you can do that. Just click on your profile picture, okay? And then just right the bottom, look for check for updates, okay? And once you click on this, if your desktop client is not updated, it will ask you to update to the most recent version. Okay, I find this very important because um, we release enhancement, bug fixes on our version releases. So um, I would suggest to do this regularly as well. Check for updates. Make sure that your client version is up to date to the latest version, right? Now, what are the things that we can actually set from your desktop client? So if you click on the real icon, it will open up the settings for you. So again, there will be a lot of options here. I just want to show you where you can actually check those options. So you'll have here your general settings. Um, those are the options that you can do here. Uh, what I just normally check here is that always show meeting and then ask me to confirm meeting when I leave. So those are just the settings that I usually set here, but it will all up to you on what are the things that you can you want to set here, right? And then um, we have here actions came down theme. Theme is actually working for the dark mode is for um, Mac OS. So I'm not sure if Windows have this theme or if they're just using light. But yeah, anyway, if you click on this view more settings, it will open up your web portal as well so that you can check the same settings that I showed you a while ago. Those are the things that you can check from your web portal. Okay. Now moving on to the video. So this is where you can actually make sure that you're using your correct camera, right? Another thing here is you can touch up my appearance. It will not. I would say it will. If you increase this, it will not um, give you like a let's say um, I mean, if you select this one, it will at least give a glow probably on your screen. So this is just a good enhancement that we have here. We also have adjust for low light option, and then some good stuff that you can enable from on video settings itself. So for audio, same thing. Make sure that you have the right speaker, right microphone installed, and then you can adjust the volume from this part. You can also suppress background noise, right? And here, these are more settings that you can enable for your audio. So for share screen, same thing, very straightforward. So you can, when someone's sharing, you can make this full screen automatically. So yeah, you can definitely explore this thing. I just want to make sure to check this green border around the shared content so that whenever you share your presentation, you're aware exactly what is being shared because there is like a green border on that specific application. So just uh, make sure that you have this enabled. And then what else we can have here? For background, again, you can use your virtual background. I mean, you can upload your virtual background. We usually use this for branding, as you can see. I know some of you may be working from home, so if you want to use a virtual background to at least not see everything from your behind, then you can definitely do so. So you can upload video or a picture, and then some good stuff here that I would suggest to use or probably recommend to use if you are having informal meetings, right? Probably cocktail meeting, game night. So there are some good video filters here that you can actually use just to add some bit fun stuff during your meeting. So I'm not recommending to use this for any formal meeting, but for those just internal and fun meetings, you can definitely use this. Same goes with studio effect, where you can put eyebrows, mustache, and lip color. So they are all available under background and filters. Okay. For recording, you'll be able to see where your recording is actually stored, right? And then cloud recording. If you click on manage on web, then it will open the web portal again so that you'll be able to access those cloud recordings. One thing that I want to actually pinpoint here is this feedback button. We love to hear your ideas, your comments, suggestion. So if you check on this feedback option here, you can submit those things to us, right? So that we can, I mean, gather all this information for you because you want to hear anything that you want to suggest so that we can improve our product, right? So those are the things that I can actually share here under um, my homepage or my desktop homepage. So we can now proceed with the meeting controls. So if you're hosting the meeting, so again, as mentioned, you will have full control of your meeting, right? So I'm going from the top first, just to quickly show you where you can find the meeting information. So it should be located here. So you'll be able to access your the meeting information from this side. And then if we're going to look on the right part, this is actually the view. What are the view options available for you? So right now, we're on gallery view. If we're going to put on a sticker view, then definitely who's highlighted is actually the one showing on the gallery view. But as a host, you can actually highlight or do a spotlight or to one of your speakers, maybe if you want them, I mean, to if you want to make sure that their video is actually showing at the very top of everything. So for example, I'm going to spotlight or pin light Peggy, if you don't mind. I'm going to spotlight you. So as you can see, even if I'm speaking, Peggy will show up on the screen. Probably if there will be 2, 3 speakers that you want to spotlight, then just hover your mouse, okay? Hover your mouse on that person, and then you can put them on spotlight. So let me just show you real quick how you can do that. So here's my mouse. Hover your mouse at the corner of that picture, and it will give you more options. You can stop their video. You can pin them, right? You can actually rename that person. This way, this is how you can actually manage your participants. So there are 2 ways. By hovering the mouse on the picture itself of your participants, or by going to this participant button. So if I open this up, for example, I'll be uh, having like a large group of people and I'm not able to find a specific person from this crowd, I'll just use the participant option here, view. Look for that person. I'm looking for JP. So instead of looking for his picture, maybe just type in his name under participant and then over your mouse, it will give you almost same option. All right, for you to manage your participants. Okay. Now, let me go back at the very bottom part where you can see your audio and your video option here. So if I click on this one, definitely it will mute my mic. If you click this arrow, again, at this point, we can still manage your audio. You can make sure, again, to select the correct audio, test the speaker and microphone, right? And same goes with video. If you click this arrow up, you can choose your virtual background from here. You can change your virtual background on the fly and it will open up the settings, okay? And then make sure that you're using the correct camera by just clicking on this option here. So one important thing that I want to actually highlight is this button, this security button. As a host, again, since you have the full control of your meeting, I would suggest to check the security option as you can allow your you can set what your participants can do during your meeting. Will you allow them to share screen, chat, rename themselves, unmute themselves, and start video? So yeah, this are you can also remove participants if needed. If you feel that they are disruptive of that meeting, then you can do that here. All right. So again, security button as a host, this is very important. So I already discussed the participant option here. So you can minimize this, or if you want to see all the list name of your participant, then you can have this open. For chat, again, this is very helpful for communication. Okay, I will skip on sharing as I'll go deep on this later on. What else we have here? So again, you can start recording your meeting. So once you started recording the meeting, it will give you an option to record this through cloud or record this locally, right? And once you see it, this option will give you like if you can pause or stop the recording. Okay. For breakout room, I'm going to actually leave this in a bit. Okay. And then for reaction, so again, these are nonverbal reaction. If you don't want to, I mean, say something, but you agree on this presentation, this is actually a good way of showing your reaction, right? So, and there will be a lot of emojis coming in for Zoom. So another here is actually is the end button. All right. Now I will go ahead and proceed with the share screen option here. I'll click on share screen. Let me just move here. Okay. What are the things that you can actually share if you click on share screen? Of course, you can share your whole desktop like what I'm doing right now. If you're using dual monitors, then definitely it will show up here. So like now I'm using two monitors, so I have desktop one, desktop two, right? And then all applications open at this point can be shared as well. So for example, here I have my presentation here. So I have this open. One good best practice if you're sharing screen, all right, instead of showing the desktop itself, if you have your presentation ready, for example, if you're using like me, PowerPoint, let's make sure to share the application itself, not the desktop. The reason for this is that what if you have information or probably um, secured information from your desktop or probably pop up notification. You don't want this to be showing up every now and then during presentation, right? So if you have a presentation ready for a specific application, you might want rather to choose that. Okay. We also have available here a whiteboard. So what does this do? Um, just straightforward whiteboard. So yeah, you can add text here. Hi, um, anything. So it's like a doodle board where you can probably share, you can draw. So this can be useful for anyone who might need to use this for collaboration, maybe. So yeah, that is the whiteboard. Let me share again my screen and go here. So we're back, right? On the main screen, you can see your thumbnails. Okay, and you're able to see the screen where I opened the share screen option, right? Okay. Now, what else it can actually perform or use if you do the share screen? Of course, if you have presentation from your iPad or from your iPhone, you can share those presentation via AirPlay or cable, right? And one thing to note, if you're actually sharing a video or something that has a audio on it, make sure to check this share sound. All right. Let me just use my annotation. This one. Make sure you have this checked. And same goes with this. Optimize for video clip. If you're sharing anything with audio and video, okay? And then aside from this, what else you can share? So you can actually click on advanced, okay? So this is let me show you this slides as a virtual background. It can be useful for you, but let me just quickly share how you can actually use this. For example, I have a presentation here and I want to use um, my presentation as my virtual background, as you can see. So you can use this one. You can move yourself like this one, and probably if you want to pinpoint on something, you can move yourself and then use your hand and I mean if you want to highlight on something. So this is still in beta, but definitely this will be available soon for everyone. So yeah, it's like you're floating, but it's a good way of presenting something. So let me just stop this sharing and move again. Hold on. There you go. So what else you can actually perform on the screen share? So of course you can do like a portion of screen if you don't want to share your whole desktop, but you want to pinpoint something. Okay. If you want to share just the computer audio, for example, you want to play music or sound during the presentation, okay, and not actually presenting a video, but just the sound, you can use this computer audio, okay. So you're sharing not not the whole video itself, but just the computer audio. And we also have here this option to share video. Just make sure if you click this one, as you can see, shared sound and optimized video clip will automatically enabled if you choose this video from the advanced tab. Okay. And then if you're using a second camera, probably you're presenting something from the other side of your room, and you have your camera set up there, then you can share this or use this um, to share the content from that second camera. Okay, so those are the things that you can actually do in sharing your presentation, right? Now, I'm going to go to the breakout room. Okay, quickly discuss to you what is a breakout room. JP, were you able to create a breakout room? Let me just highlight JP here. JP, can you hear me?
I'm here. Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So let me just open up this breakout room option for you. So here's how you can actually create a breakout room. So you can assign this automatically. You can assign people manually to breakout rooms, or you can let your participants choose their rooms. So for example, we are like 58 participants on this room. If I'm going to create, let's say, um, 10 each room, then as you can see, as I move my mouse and increase this number of breakout room, you will see here at the bottom like how many participants will be joining on each room, right? And then once you click on create, okay, for example, I created 5 rooms. If I click on create, this will not automatically open the room, okay? So it will open another pop-up here. So since I chose automatically, you can actually rename the room. So like best room. So this is just an example. So yeah, you can rename the room, okay? You can view who are on each room, right? And then if you want to actually move participants from one room to another prior to opening the room, okay, you can also do that. So for example, I'll be moving, for example, I have JP on the, let me just check, where is JP here? I would also suggest to have someone like a co-host to create a breakout room for you so that I mean it will not be disruptive, and it will have like a smooth flow of presentation, right? You can have your co-host actually set the breakout room for you. So for example, if I want JP to be moved to a different room. For example, he is currently at room 5. I want him to be part of best room. I'm just going to use this move to, okay? And then if I'm going to exchange someone from that room, for example, I want JP and I want him to exchange, let me see, for example, where's JP? Think I missed JP, but yeah, you can there you go. So he's back on the room 5. Okay. So I mean again, you can manage your participants here prior to opening the room, you can move one participant to another room. You can do some exchange, okay, and then you can still add room prior to opening the room. And then you also have an option here. If you click this wheel icon, will you allow your participant to choose their own room? Okay. Allow participants to return to the main session at any time. Automatically move all assigned participants into breakout rooms. Okay. And then you can also set here timer when to close the breakout room. Okay. So prior to closing, you can probably set a countdown like 60 seconds prior to closing. So they will see once everyone's in the breakout room, they will see this countdown timer of 1 minute prior to closing the breakout room. Okay. Now, I want to actually show you where you can broadcast message to everyone who's actually in the breakout room. But I'll be showing you that since I don't want to open the breakout room, definitely it will move us to different room. Okay, and due to we are recording this, I mean I don't want us to be moving from those room and disrupt the recording. So that is how you can actually create a breakout room and send everyone into their own separate spaces. For example, for any collaboration that probably you might want them to do, and then go back to the main session and and do some sharing, or probably I mean get more information on what happened during those times on the breakout room. So yeah, basically those are the things for your breakout room. Now, what I can do here, I am not the original host of this meeting, so I might not be probably open a poll for you, right? But on the presentation deck that I actually prepared, I have information here on you can on how you can set up your poll actually. So let me go back on my presentation. Before I do that, on this part, do we have any particular question in managing participants, sharing screen, doing the breakout rooms?
We have one from Adina.
Mhm.
She asked if there is a way to keep certain attendees in the main room instead of being thrown into a breakout room. It's a private message. Maybe you can show her on how you could um, not include anyone or someone from the breakout room.
Okay, so like everyone will be on the breakout room, and then someone will just be left on the main room or on the main uh session room. So let's try to do that. I think this was I mentioned or raised by Adina. So let me just create the room. And you're doing this using the automatically assignment of room. Is that right? Okay. So let's try a bit. Probably just 2 room. Let's see if we can have someone be on the space and not move on the room. So let's see. That's for JP. For JP, okay, there. All right. If you're going to use the automatic, JP, can you remember uh if we're going to use the automatic option, if someone can actually left behind on the main session?
No, if you use, I believe if it's automatic, it will assign everyone to be part of that breakout room that you'll be opening. And they have an option to return to the main session, even though we set up a time limit for the breakout room.
Okay. Yeah, I believe that is actually that is the same thing. But let me go ahead and I'll probably get back to you on that, Adina. I know we've already discussed this, but um, I think for automatic, it should you can automatically set the rooms for everyone, then move them and exchange them. But leaving someone on the main session, I don't think that we can actually do that. But I can double check that for you, okay? And probably I'll send this on my follow up email. Okay.
Matt, we have another question about screen sharing from Susie. She
Mhm.
wants to know if you're going to share multiple presentations or screens. How do you switch back and forth? Do you have to stop sharing or hit
Mhm.
share screen again? Can you show us how you do that, please?
Yeah, sure. So let me go ahead and share my screen again. All right. Now, to go on a smooth transition, so once you're sharing the screen, this bar will actually open. Can you see the floating bar where you can see the annotation tool, right? So this is the annotation tool that you can actually use. So again, you will still see here the security option, more option. Instead of using the stop share, okay, you can click on new share, and so that it will not, I mean, the transition is that it will not go back to the main session, but instead it will go directly to um, it will go directly to the presentation that you're trying to present. So it's best to use that, the new share option, this one, instead of using the stop share. Um, will that answer the inquiry or question,
I believe so.
Susie? Okay. So yeah, it's part of the best practice actually. If you're sharing your screen, instead of clicking on stop share, you can actually use this new share for a quick or smooth transition of screen presentation. So again, this tool will only show up if you're sharing screen, so that you can use this annotation tool. These are the annotation tools that you can actually use. Okay. Now, let me just go ahead and share my presentation again so that we can discuss polling, right? So let me click on new share, and then let me show you. All right. Let me know if you're able now to see my presentation again.
Yes, we can.
All right. Thank you. Now let me go to polling. Just give me a second here. There you go. All right. So for polling, again, just take note that for this polling feature, it's only the original host who can actually create or edit the polling question. Okay, since I am not the original host of this session, all right, that is the reason why I'm not able to actually create one or edit the polling for you. So the co-host can actually help you launch the poll, but it will only launch the poll that have been created by the original host. So, for example, if you're in a meeting and if you're interested in creating a poll for your attendees, the best and easiest way is to create the set of questions for your polling prior to the meeting. And you can do this from the web portal. Okay. Though you can still launch and add a poll on the fly during the meeting, but again, this might take up time because once you edit or create a poll from the meeting itself, it will open up your web portal to change or add those polling questions. Okay, let me show you what I mean by that. So, so if you open the polling, this is the polling icon. And if you don't have questions yet prepared, for example, you just click on the polling question, but you don't have a question yet. So what it will ask you to do is actually click on add a question, but it will redirect you to the web portal for you to actually add or create the poll. See, that is why we, as a best practice, if you're interested in adding poll, make sure that you already have this ready or prepared prior to the meeting. Okay. And then here's how you can actually create those questions. So this can be a single choice or multiple choice polling question, right? And then you can also check this conduct anonymously if you want, if you do not wish to collect participant information from the poll result. Okay. And then once you have created the polling question, just click on save. Okay, so you will see the polling question added here. All right, you can add up to maximum of 25 polls per meeting. Okay. And then once the poll is created, you have to go back to the meeting, right, to launch the poll from there. So that's the only time you can actually launch a poll if you haven't really created one. But if you have, if already prepared a poll question prior to the meeting or while scheduling the meeting, then you just have to launch the poll itself. All right. So once the poll has been launched, participants in the meeting will now be prompted to answer your polling questions. So the host will be able to see the results live, right? And then if you want to stop the poll, you can just click on this end poll. All right. And if you would like to share the result to the participants in the meeting, then just click on share results. So participants will now see the results of the polling question, right? So yeah, those are how you can actually launch a poll. Unfortunately, I'm not be able to launch that on the live demo since I am not the original host, but I can send a support article about polling on my follow-up email. And this deck actually will be shared as well to Peggy and Adina, so that every topic that I actually discussed during the live demo, it is actually included here. So about breakout room, yeah, about all those good stuff that I have actually provided you. It will be included on this deck presentation that I'll be sharing to Peggy and Adina. Okay. Now,
Matt, before you go on, I think we lost JP, but we have a couple of questions. One person wants to know if a co-host can launch a poll.
yes, the co-host can launch the poll, but he can only launch those pre-created polls that the original host already have already created. Because the only way you can actually create the polls is actually from the web portal. So as a co-host, you can launch the poll, but he can only launch the poll that the original host have already created from the web portal.
Thanks, Matt. And then is there a way to keep the poll results to share later?
Yeah, you can actually download the result. Like you don't want to share the result right then and then.
Or if maybe you want to refer back to them at a later date, even if you have shared them.
You can, once the poll have been created, I mean, um and the poll, for example, you can actually download or see the report of this poll. You can share the results live, but if you don't want to, then you can actually download the results of the poll, which you can share on the later time. So this
Sorry,
download
just to
option
add.
here.
Sorry, just to add, Matt. I'm still here. I'm so sorry. If you wanted to share results of the poll at a later time, all you need to do is to just close the poll window. And if it's the time that you want to share the results, just kindly click the polling icon again on your toolbar, and it would let you share the results of the poll that you've done earlier.
All right. Any other question?
We do have one from, it's an older one. Hang on. Yeah, George wanted to know if there's a search function in the breakout room control panel.
Let's see. Breakout room. And then
I believe there isn't.
mhm. Once the breakout room has, I mean, has been open, or during creation of the breakout room.
George, can you unmute yourself and ask the question? Georgia, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. I just noticed when you were looking to switch, I believe, JP to a different breakout room, I saw a little search bar pop up, which I hadn't seen before. It was just a function that I thought could be really useful in a meeting with a bigger more participants, to be able to find someone to switch them easily. And I noticed that came about when I think you were moving him around. So I was just wondering if you could show where that was.
Yeah, good point. Let me just share my screen again. Let me just move from here. So I think you're referring to the search bar at the top. So
Yeah.
let me one. There should be let me just make sure. I think JP, you can click on this and then search for that person if you want
Mhm.
to.
Click
I
on
mean,
the number, and then there should be a search window that's there.
Got it. So you can search within each room if you click on that number of people in each
Mhm.
room.
Beside the name of the room. Correct.
Okay,
Beside the lead room.
thank you so much.
okay. Any other question before we proceed with um the roadmaps? I think we're almost end of time, but yeah, I just want to be respectful of your time. If if there will be other question, follow-up question, just um let Peggy or Dina know, and then we'll get back to you on those questions, right? So, but right now, let me just go here and share what are the things that you can expect for the following month, maybe. So here are the exciting announcement at Zoomtopia. So we have a lot of updates coming up for you. Okay, so I'm not going to discuss everything, but I'll just be sharing this deck to you. All right. So I will just highlight some. So this is the video waiting room. Okay. So aside from that normal waiting room of just looking at or looking at the name of that person, Then we have, we're going to enable the video waiting room, which we can see the video itself of those person before you admit them, right? And then we also have your immersive scenes, okay? So it's a customizable meeting scenes for visual experience. So, and then again, more reaction, remote discussion, I think the audio overlay, so not just like the clapping reaction, but an audio overlay applause will be available. I think it will be early this year. We also have recording highlights. When closed captioning, the AI will actually highlight those important information. And then for better audio, we're going to have like a high fidelity mode on the next upcoming releases, and automatic noise detection and cancellation using an artificial intelligence. So yeah, those are the things that we have on the roadmap for you. Okay. We are still keep on improving the platform or the program. That is why we want to hear all those feedbacks from you. Okay. Now, for resources and support, again, if you have time to learn more, we have a we have available Zoom live training services which you can register. Okay, just go to zoom.us live training. Okay, you can also visit our upcoming events which will discuss best practices, platform 101 like meetings 101, webinar 101. That will give you more information on how you can actually maximize the use of Zoom as part of your solution.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes.
We have another question from the chat from
Sure.
Terry.
I'll go ahead.
Sorry, the question is, can you define host? Is it the person who creates the meeting? And another question is, can there be more than one person? If two people log in with the same login, are they both hosts? Or is it the first one and the other person becomes a co-host? I would suggest, Terry, for you to unmute yourself and provide us more insight regarding your question.
Okay, so sometimes when we do a training, we have to do it in the back room. So when we log in, one of us is in the back room and then one of us is in the front area. So who's considered the host? The first one that logs in on that login, or is it and then the second person becomes a co-host, or how does that work? Is the host based on your login?
Yeah, let me answer that, but that's a good question, Terry. So the host actually is the one who created the meeting itself. So that is considered the original host. Now, the roles on the meeting is actually host, co-host, alternative host, or the participants. So the one who created the host, that is actually the original host. If you assign someone to open or like open the meeting on your behalf, that would be the alternative host. Okay. Now, the co-host can be assigned during the meeting itself, who can help you, assist you during the meeting. So there can only be one host actually on a meeting.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. I think related to that question, can the co-host be set up during the setup of the meeting? So Gina, to answer that question, it you can only set up the co-host within the meeting.
Hi, Matt. Can I actually jump in on this question really quick, only because for those associations who are utilizing C.A.R. accounts, I understand why you're asking. There is an option to set up alternative hosts. And what that means is while you're scheduling the meeting, you can actually pre-assign your co-host, right? However, if you are utilizing a C.A.R. account, you can see other users who also have C.A.R. accounts. You guys will not be able to because you are users. You don't have an admin account with users underneath you. And I hope I made that make sense. So you can only make participants co-host once you're in the meeting. You're not going to be able to utilize the alternative host feature. If you are an association who decided to get an account on your own, you should be able to utilize that option. Thanks, Matt. Sorry, I just wanted to jump in just to clarify that a little bit for them.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Adina.
Thanks.
Yeah. So to better understand what are the rules within the meeting, I will also include that on the follow-up email. The difference between host, co-host, alternative host, and participants. Okay, but moving forward here, just to quickly wrap this up again for the resources and support, just go to support.zoom.us. So we have I would say a very robust page here where you can browse, and it will provide you a helpful links information about certain features and settings of Zoom, right? So if in case you need to contact our support, there is an option there, contact support. Just make sure to include the meeting ID, okay? All the information needed, like screenshots, if there will be, details like date and time, so that our support group can actually further investigate the scenario or the issue for you, okay? Now, if there's a need for any escalation for all those C.A.R., I am your customer success manager. If you happen to contact support and you need to escalate a ticket, let your admin know so that they can inform me so I can put the correct eyes on those tickets, right? So yeah, here to cap this off, here's the tips and best practices I can share to you. Before the meeting, make sure to test your audio and video. If you wish to share content, make sure that they are ready in advance. Okay, close application with pop-ups. All right, hosting a meeting, mute your microphone if others are presenting. Okay, use gallery view for collaborative meetings. If you use the share screen for specific application, all right, use the new share to transition the application smoothly, as I've mentioned a while ago, and then use the annotation tool to grab attention. Now, make sure to turn your camera on, position your your webcam slightly above eye level, okay? Make an eye contact and try to look at your webcam as often as possible. Those are just my tips and best practices when you're handling your meetings, okay? So that is actually the end of my presentation. I will give back the floor to Peggy and Adina.
Matt and JP, thank you very much for this session. And to everybody who attended, I'll be sending out a follow-up email. It'll have the slides on it, any links that you need, and the link to the presentation as well. Thanks for attending,
Hi,
everybody.
Peggy.